Hi there, welcome to this video. So in this video, we'll be talking about quick table calculation in Tableau. How do we calculate a quick table calculation? So I've connected to the sample EU Superstore and I've created a simple visualization which shows the customers and the orders they've made in the past 4 years, that is between 2020 and 2023. And I've also sorted in ascending order, starting from the highest others to the lowest. So let's just start with calculating a rank. We want to know the first 10 orders that have been made, customers with its first top 10 orders made. I will be using a simple table calculation for that. So again, we can use a table calculation on a dimension. For example, on customer name, if I click on this drop down arrow, you would not see that option to do a quick table calculation because it's not a continuous variable, so it's not going to be possible to do it on non-mathematical data type. Now when I click on discount, you would see that option here, add table calculation, quick table calculation as well. And also on orders, you can see the same thing because they are both measures, continuous variables. Now let's come to orders because we want to do the ranking on it. So that's what you're going to be doing the table calculation on. And you will see the hard table calculation and quick table calculation. You wonder which one you choose. For quick table calculation is just a direct calculation, which is quite simpler. You don't want to add any other levels to it. You just want to do a straightforward calculation. But add table calculation, you could manipulate it. You will see several options there to select, and it's a bit advanced. So let me just go back because it's done something for me. So what I would do is to create a copy of these orders because that's where I want it to be. So I'm going to hold down my command key and I'm going to click on this to make a copy, and I will drag to details. I do not want it to be in details just for the quick table calculation. So I'll come in here and do quick table calculation. You will see the options you have in there. Do you want to run in total? Do you want difference, percentage difference, and so on? But I will choose rank. So when I choose rank, it's already calculated. Again, you can use a table calculation within a calculated field. How do I know? So when I come in here and click create calculated field, a calculated field is like a secondary field, a field that is not in your table. So if you drag in this table calculation in here, you will see that it has calculated rank orders. So if I were to create a calculated field, this is a formula I would be using, but that's not what I want to do now. So I'll just bring from details, I'll bring it to the measures, I'll bring it underneath orders, and it's created a separate column for me, and I can edit the name as I want. You can see that this is my first 2, 3, and 7. It has this repetition 7 7 in here, and again I can decide to edit it to say, edit table calculation, what type of ranking do I want, and there it will give me this option, and I will say I don't want this one that repeats, which is showing competition. I want it unique, and I can come in here and say unique and select. You can say you compute using table down or across or cell, which a table down is fine with me. Table down means it's going to start from beginning till the end and defines the scoping and the direction of your calculation. All right, so descending is fine, and I will say, and I'm gonna close it. So you can see that it's unique and have the first top 10, but in this case I will leave it as repeated because it's the same value, except I just want to pick the first 10 in it. So cool, I can decide to move ahead and say, okay, fine, now that I've calculated the rank, what do I do with? So you've been able to, you've succeeded in doing a table calculation, but let's decide to bring this to filters. You can see that it is showing as mathematical table, and I can bring my range to 10. So it's going to give me a measure filter, and you can see that I have 10, the top 10 in here, and I'm good to go. I'll create another table calculation. You can see that you can use a table calculation within filters as well. That's what I've just done, and you can use it within your table. So let's move ahead to create another table calculation to just say, okay, I want to know percentage of total. So again, I'm going to create a copy of this. I'll hold down my command key and drag to details, and here we have it. And I'll come to the arrow and say quick table calculation. Look for the options I can get in there. You can see we do not have all this one in YTD, a bit complex. Now I will say percentage of total. All right. So now that I've created a percentage of total, I'll bring it in here, and it's showing me that this is a percentage of everything. 37 over the total. We can decide to check the total to know what it aggregates to by clicking on analytics, and I'll drag through total here, and I'll bring it to column total. You can see it's 10,000, and it's everything added up is 100. So each of this is 37, over 10,000. Looks quite straightforward. Now, if I want to use the secondary table calculation, what do I mean secondary? Let's click down on table calculation and see, can I do a table calculation of a table calculation? Let's see if we have that option. It will just give me what I've already done. So if I click on that again, it's going to untick it. Now, but I just want to have possibly maybe another table calculation on top of this table calculation. For example, maybe rank of that on this one. But if I click rank on table calculation, it's just going to untick and give me the rank instead. Now let's go to edit table calculation and see if it's going to give me. It's just showing me what I've done. Cool. And that brings us to how we will use table calculation instead of quick table calculation. So let's just undo this. Let's create count orders again and use the normal table calculation. Hold down your shift key and bring it in here. I'm going to remove this in details. I'm going to remove this as well. Now we're starting all over again. Want to use table calculation. Cool. Now what do we do here? We want maybe percentage of, or let's just do running total. Immediately I click on running total, you would see that it gave me this option of add secondary calculation. It's because this running total is a type of table calculation that can have another table calculation on top of it. Let's choose another one. Difference from doesn't have any table calculation. Difference from is possibly from the first and second one. So what other table calculation do you want to do? Percentage of total does not have secondary. Possibly because we can't, maybe do ranking on percentage of. So instead, we'll rather do it on the primary data fields we used, which is the others. Now, let's go for running total. And on this running total, we're going to have another table calculation on it. And what are we going to be using? I don't want to perform difference from, which means I can perform difference from a running total, but I want to have percentage of total of the running total. You can choose any one, but this is just for illustration's sake. So that is where the add secondary calculation comes into play. And you can only do that within the table calculation option, not the quick table calculation option. And now I've done that, and I will close this. Remember, this is where I performed it. It's not showing in my visualization. So I need to bring this in to measures. And you can see that it's giving me 100%. So the running total on top of this one is 100% of it, of 100% of it, and so on. Let's go to choose a new secondary type, maybe possibly difference from. So it's saying difference from table across. Let's use from cells because we have scope and direction also. But so relative to previous, so or relative to next. But we can choose any option and see what it brings. Now there is nothing it's returning. So we can edit again until we get a value. Let's just table down. Then this is, you can see that it's negative, this negative, that negative. It's giving me negative because it's different from the next, and from the next. Along table down. Let's choose another. So again, that's how you maneuver using table calculation for whatever you do within Tableau. Let's use last. So it's giving us a different, so depending on whatever you want to do, you can use table calculation to implement it. I hope you've learned something from the video. Thanks for watching and subscribe to my channel. Bye bye.